What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am actually doing my own shell challenge, like you could probably already tell because the shell was right there when I started building in this video. So yeah, I'm trying to make something cute out of my own shell, and it's a weird shell. Like, I didn't think about the shell at all when I built it. Like, it literally took me like 3 minutes, maybe not even. Like, I just plopped down a couple of boxes and added some more boxes, made it look a little bit interesting, added a second floor, and called it a day. So I didn't think about it at all, and I think that, of course, that is the whole point of a shell challenge. Like, you create this weird shell and you try and make a cute build out of it. But the thing is, I have never done a shell challenge in my life ever before. So this, my own shell challenge, is actually my very first challenge that I am trying to do myself. So yeah, I'm actually quite happy with the result. I didn't really think about it all that much when I started building. I did have some sort of plan. And by that I mean that I knew that I wanted to build something Mediterranean looking. So yeah, that's what I tried to do with this weird shaped shell, and I think it turned out pretty cute. It's a fairly, it's a quirky build. It's a little bit strange, and it's definitely not something that I would have built if the shell hadn't already existed, if that makes any sense. But I guess that's the whole point of a shell challenge, is where you have this quirky shape of a house or of a building, you try and make something out of it that makes sense. So yeah, I guess that's the whole point of a shell challenge, and you probably have more experience with it than me, because like I mentioned, this was actually the very first time that I did it myself. And I also completely broke the rules, because I don't think that I actually recorded that, but when I was messing around with a floor plan off camera, I do that sometimes where I just figure out what I want to do for the floor plan off camera, and then I start recording again and try and draw out the actual floor plan. So it doesn't take me too much fiddling on camera, because it can take me a while. So that's what I did for this one as well, and I was just doing my thing, fiddling around with the floor plan, and I completely didn't notice that I had actually totally deleted the diagonal interior wall that I added to the shell that you are not supposed to touch or delete or do anything with. You just have to leave it there. You can add on to it, but you have to leave it there. But I totally broke my own rules, and I didn't even realize it. So I was messing around with the floor plan, and then I moved on to the exterior of the build again, because I wanted to do some landscaping. And then at some point, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I realized, I was thinking to myself that I deleted that diagonal wall. So I went back to the inside of the build and checked, and yes, I did that. I completely deleted it without even realizing it. So I had to kind of adjust my floor plan, because I was really happy with the way that it turned out, because I was having a lot of trouble with it as it was, like even without that weird diagonal wall on the inside of the build. So yeah, I was having I was struggling a little bit with it, but I caught the mistake in time. Fortunately, so I placed back the diagonal wall and fiddled around with the floor plan a little bit more, and yeah, I figured out something else that works. So in the end, I am really happy with the way that the floor plan turned out, and I am really happy with the way that the exterior of the build turned out as well. I don't know, I think it's really cute, and I like the shape of it because it's weird and quirky and just different, but I am really happy with the way that it turned out. And it's also been a while since I have built anything Mediterranean, so that's why I kind of wanted to try and see if I could make this into a cute Mediterranean house. It's not that big of a house, but I did manage to make room for 4 Sims inside this house. I don't really have a very detailed storyline for the build, but as I was furnishing it, the thought kind of came to me, like it kind of gave me the vibe of a grandparent's house for some reason. But I also furnished a bedroom for 2 children. So what I was thinking for this build, once we move on to the interior, what I was thinking is that this could be a grandparent's house, and the grandparents are having their grandchildren live with them. For some reason, like for one reason or another, maybe their parents aren't around, or maybe their parents aren't able to take care of the kids or something, Or maybe the grandparents, they're not even grandparents and they just adopted two kids later on in life, but I don't think that's what happened. I think that the grandparents are actually taking care of their grandkids for one reason or another. So I did give the children a shared bedroom downstairs, and then I gave the grandparents a bedroom upstairs, and then there's also a full bathroom upstairs as well as downstairs. So there is two full bathrooms in here, which I was pretty impressed with because it's a fairly small shell. But I was able to fit in a couple bathrooms in there and a couple bedrooms as well. So yeah, I was really happy with the way that the floor plan turned out in the end. And yeah, like I already mentioned, I like the exterior of the build as well. I kind of went crazy with landscaping, as I usually do, because I just really enjoy landscaping. So I made this build look very green and lush and overgrown, and I really, really like the way the backyard turned out. It's actually really small and tiny, but it's just so cozy looking. I did make sure to give them a swimming pool because, well, I built this house in Oasis Springs, and it's going to be hot there pretty much every single day of the year. So I don't know, whenever I build in Oasis Springs, I make sure to add a pool to the backyard because you just need that when you live in a hot climate like that. You need a pool to just jump in and cool off. So that's what I did, and I also thought it would be really fun for the kids to just invite their friends over and have a pool party or something. It's just something to do for the children as well. But here you can see I kind of wrapped up the exterior of the house there with all the landscaping and stuff, and I moved on to the interior of the build. So when you walk through the front door, you enter to a tiny little entryway, but mainly just straight into the kitchen, which I think is really cute. I really like this kitchen. It's very small, but everything fits in there and it's fully functional, and I actually really enjoy the way that it turned out. You can see that I was definitely fiddling around with the colors and stuff for the flooring and the wallpaper in the kitchen because it's a Mediterranean home and it's not something that I'm very used to. But I like those orangey, brown, warm-toned kind of tiles on the floor and on the wall for Mediterranean builds like this. But it is something that I'm not that used to. So I don't always like the way that it comes out. But for some reason, I wanted to try to just use those colors in this build again. So I tried it and I actually ended up liking it very much. So yeah, I don't know, I was definitely fiddling around with the color scheme of the kitchen as well, of the counters and cabinets and stuff, but in the end, I think I stuck with those white counters and cabinets. I'm not sure though. I built this house, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I didn't want to share it with you too soon. I don't know, because at that point I hadn't filmed the Shell Challenge tour video just yet, which I have done now. I know it's not up yet. I'm still working on it, but I will be uploading that video shortly, which I just want to take a second and talk about that because I had so much fun touring your builds. I don't think I have had that much fun recording a video before. I also recorded it with Facecam, so that was something different and scary, but a lot of fun. So I am working on that video right now, but I think it will be up very shortly, in a couple days, or at least that's what I'm aiming for. So yeah, unfortunately I couldn't tour every single build because there were a lot of submissions. I did not expect that at all, but a lot of people did my shell challenge, which I'm so grateful for that. I think that is just so cool and so much fun. And let me just tell you, every single one of those builds is amazing. I love them all so much. I was totally in shock the whole time I was recording that video because you guys are so extremely creative, and I love the way that you just turned that weird looking shell into something that makes so much sense. And I don't know, I just enjoyed it so much and in general, which is why I love this Sims online community so much, because I just really, really like looking at other people's creativity and be inspired by other people's creativity. You see people do things in builds that you would never be able to come up with yourself, or you probably would be able to, but it's just not something that came to your mind. And it's just so much fun to be inspired by things that other simmers, other builders come up with. It's just, I don't know, I just love that so much about this community. So I took the time and looked at, I think in total 10 of your builds in the video. But there is definitely a lot more, which I also mentioned that in that video, so spoiler alert. But I think that I want to do a part 2 for the shell challenge tours, because there's just a couple more on the gallery that I really want to show off and that I just really want to take the time and look at and show you, because, well, like I mentioned 1,000 times, it's just so much fun and all your builds are just so pretty and amazing and so creative, and I can't stop talking about it, or rambling about it rather, but I don't know, it's so much fun and I was so inspired by it. So long story short, I can't wait to share that video with you guys because it's amazing. Like, not the video so much, but just your creations and the fact that I got to look at it and talk about it and just be inspired by it was the best thing ever. So I really want to do more like videos like that, maybe not shell challenge tours, but just looking at your builds and stuff, but I'll figure that out later. For now, I did that video and it was a lot of fun, and I'm sure to upload it to my channel within a couple days. So yeah, I look forward to that because it's really fun. But yeah, I just totally talked over this whole living area. I really enjoy this living area. I didn't really have space for a proper dining room or something, but I managed to fit in this little dining table in the living area and also a desk with a computer. So this area is just like the living room and the dining space and a study all in one, but I think it's so cozy and I really enjoyed using those darker wood tones combined with some whites and lighter colors and stuff like that, and I just cluttered it up. I cluttered it up a whole bunch because I just wanted this house to look cozy and lived in, and yeah, kind of like a grandparent's house. I think it was this room that I was furnishing when I realized that this house should be for a couple of grandparents. So yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. And like I already mentioned, I was thinking that they are living with their grandchildren or their grandchildren are living with them. So I made sure to add a toy box in the living room as well, because from the get-go, I knew that I wanted to try and fit in 2 kids in this house, which this is going to be their bedroom. So they have a pretty small shared bedroom. So I didn't really have a whole bunch of space for a whole bunch of toys. Like, I managed to fit in a couple of toys, but not that many. So I wanted to make sure and fit in a toy box somewhere in the living room as well. So I made sure to do that, but I really like this kid's bedroom, this children's bedroom. It's pretty modern. It's a little bit more modern than the rest of the house, but I was kind of imagining that the grandkids came to live with the grandparents a little bit later on, so they had to like go to IKEA or something and buy them a couple of beds and just a little bit of furniture that is a little bit more modern looking, because they didn't have that yet, so they had to buy that brand new. Or secondhand, but just not too expensive, but still kind of like modern and IKEA-ish looking. That's kind of the look and feel that I was going with for this bedroom. And then I made sure to put up like a couple of things on the wall, a couple of decorations, and just some random little knickknacks everywhere in a backpack and stuff to just kind of make this look cluttered and lived in, because it is 2 kids sharing this bedroom, so it's going to be a little bit messy. So I made sure to kind of just add a little bit of clutter and a little bit of mess everywhere, but it's not too messy. And I also gave them a knitting basket on the dresser, because I think that the fact that kids can knit in The Sims, with, if you have Nifty Knitting that is, but the Sims can, or your Sims kids can knit, and I think that is just the cutest thing. So whenever I am building for a child or decorating like a room for a kid, I do make sure to add like a knitting basket or something, because I just think that it's the cutest thing and it's such a cool activity for kids to do. So yeah, I'm just really into that at the moment. So whenever I am decorating a bedroom for a child, I will add a knitting basket or something. But this is the full bathroom that's downstairs, and this is the bathroom that the kids use, obviously, because their bedroom is downstairs as well, but it's also the guest bathroom. And then here we moved on to the upstairs area, which is fairly small, but there is a full bathroom up here as well. And then this is the bedroom for the grandparents. I actually don't quite remember what color scheme I went with for this bedroom, but yeah, like you can see, I used a whole bunch of darker wood tones throughout this whole build. I always like to kind of tie in the master bedroom with the rest of the house, if that makes sense, because it's probably the parents or the grandparents or whoever owns the house sleeping in that bedroom. So they probably decorated most of the house as well. So it kind of just makes sense to me to have the master bedroom decorated in the same style as the majority of the rest of the house, if that makes sense. Because, well, it's their style and their taste of furniture, so, and color scheme as well. So that's kind of what I went ahead and did. But this bedroom is nothing too crazy complicated. It is cluttered a little bit, but not as much as the children's bedroom. Oh yeah, that's true. I went for this cool toned wallpaper with browns in it, but also a couple of like hints of blue, which I think are really pretty, and kind of just brightened up the space a little bit, even though the wood tone is very dark, but the blue color in that wallpaper is very like fresh in my opinion. So I liked combining those two things. And then this is the bathroom upstairs, the other bathroom that the, well, it's actually, it's the master bathroom. It's just not an ensuite, but basically it kind of is, because the whole upstairs area is for the grandparents. So it's not technically an ensuite, but it is their bathroom, if that makes sense. But I made sure to fit a shower tub combo in there. And here I just decorated the landing area a little bit. I made sure to create a like cozy little reading nook, which I think always makes sense on a landing area. I don't know why, but I just like creating like little reading nooks, cozy nooks on landing areas for some reason. It's just something that makes sense to me. But yeah, that was already that for the interior of the house. So I moved on to the backyard, which you can see that there is a ladder going up to a tiny little balcony up there, and I made that into a little skill building area, which I think is really cute. And it was also nice to have a little bit of extra space to fit a couple of skill building items onto, because I tend to sometimes forget to add enough skill building items to my builds. I don't know, that's just something that happens from time to time, because I'm not really focused on actual gameplay whenever I'm building. I'm just focused on the storyline that's in my head, and sometimes it's just a little bit too realistic, if that makes sense, and then I don't think about the gameplay all that much. But for this one, I did make sure to add a couple of skill building items, but you'll see that in a little while. And I created a little sitting area right here, and I placed on a couple of lounge chairs by the pool as well. And then outside there is also a grill and a dining table. So because they live in Oasis Springs, so they're probably going to be spending a lot of time outside as well, because the weather is going to be so nice all the time. But that was that little skill building area that I was talking about, with an easel and a chess table. And then that's pretty much already it for this build. So I do hope that you enjoyed this video. You can download this build off the gallery if you want to. My username on there is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!